This is the Nifty 50 one-year overview reading for the year of 2025. It's currently December 30th, 2024, 6:58 p.m. Eastern Time. Nifty at the time of this reading is 23,644.90 points. And the Nifty 50 reading was created, the shuffle file was created on December 21st, 2024 at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So first off, if you're new to the channel, guys, just want to apologize for the lack of editing. We're so backed up on orders and demand, like we just have to we need to find an editor at this point. So my apologies. Thank you for your patience. And as far as everything that I talk about in this reading, we're going to go over the overall trend for the year. We're going to go over information about the year's highest high, information about the year's lowest low. We're going to go through the week-by-week chart behavior, the sequence of events, and a little bit of information about the highs and lows for each month. And then we're even going to give you one of the best trades that we see for the year of 2025 right after we take a look at the 2024 reading to see how we did accuracy-wise. So stay tuned for all that. And then as far as everything that we talk about, when we say like we're support level, when we say big move, we're talking about on the scale of like a one-year chart with one-day candlesticks, unless otherwise specified. All right, so this is significant, guys. The abundance card as the theme card is very likely indicating a new all-time high for Nifty 50 in 2025. Yeah, we've got a new all-time high for Nifty 50 in 2025. So right off the bat, we know we're going to see higher price levels in 2025 than the 26,234.75. And I'll talk about that in a lot more detail as probably in the total access version of this video. But this is the type of stuff that you get, these type of notes, when you have access to one of our subscriptions. You get the live trading view links and live updated Discord. You get the live Discord trade alerts and live updated trading view links. That's a pretty strong indication that we're going to see a new all-time high there, guys. Apologize for the gap in speaking. Again, unedited. Now, you want to be careful, guys, because this abundance card is crossed with the universe card, which is the biggest decline card in the deck. This indicates a really significant. This could be like a global decline, actually, in this case, not just the Indian stock market. Yeah, this is a global decline that I'm picking up on here, guys. So likely that we're going to see this in any of the other index one-year readings for 2025 that I do. So we've got this new all-time high, and then likely we have this significant decline on like a multi-year scale off of that high. Behavior around the highest high as far as chart behavior on the highest high for the year of 2025. We have a notable decline. We should decline all the way to revisit a support level that was recently a past opportunity. Again, this would be on the scale of like a multi-year rating, this type of support level that we would decline to. And then the Dominion card in the low significator position for 2025 is indicating that we're likely to see the low twice. Sometimes it's more than twice, but usually it's twice with the Dominion card. You can be pretty close to certain it won't be once. I mean, it could, but very, very unlikely. All right, guys, now I'm going to get into the week-by-week chart behavior here. It's important that you guys understand this information is not intended, this public version is not intended for anybody to be trading this information. This is what we expect to see throughout the year, and we're usually on point as far as the timing. But when we're off point on the timing, which happens occasionally, it's the sequence of chart events that you want to be paying attention to. So we really do not advise trading this information without the guidance of the expert, myself. And the best way to do that, guys, is with the live Discord trade alerts, live updated trading view charts. So I'm going to show you how to get all that as part of the subscription at the end of the video. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. It's really a game changer, my friends. All right, so we start off the year in January with a pretty significant this will be like, there'll be like a highest high for the year thus far taking place in like the early part of January, maybe like the end of the first week, beginning of the second week, somewhere around there. Big move to the upside to the January high, which again is like going to be somewhere in the first, second week. And then we should decline pretty notably into a trough by the end of the third week, fourth week. Again, guys, plus or minus 2 weeks of wiggle room on the timing. So the sequence of events is most important. But we should see some sideways rotation along key support on a 1 year chart scale near the January low. Yeah, there's a really important trough there. And I'm seeing here in the Nifty, what I'm seeing in a lot of the 2025 readings, we go from like a highest high thus far into a lowest low thus far and back into a highest high thus far between January and February. So be very, very careful. There's a lot of opportunity to be made if you have the balls to jump in there. Excuse my language. If you have the courage to jump in there while everybody else is like running for the hills, because that's what we're looking at in the later part of January, most likely. Now, we've got this failed attempt to break through key resistance in early January, followed by a decline through key support. Another significant peak. Another significant peak in the probably the end of the first or the beginning of the second week of February, and we're going to be tempted to chase that rally into that peak. Be very careful. You don't want to do that. There's either going to be multiple false stops or there's going to be sideways rotation near that peak. Big move off of the low of the February low, probably in the end of the third week, beginning of the fourth week, somewhere around there. Big move to the upside, pushing the upper end of a range higher. In the later part of February, we've got a U-shaped dip forming near the intersection of two perpendicular diagonal trend lines. Rather significant. Oh, wow. And then the other thing I just picked up on, guys, for the information about the highest high. Let me see. Yeah, we're most likely going to revisit that highest high more than once in 2025. So anyhow, so we have this U-shaped tip forming near the intersection of two perpendicular diagonal trend lines. A lot of price change in the early part of March out of a significant trough. Into or out of a significant trough. Looks like a pretty notable decline into the March low, mid-March. There's a prominent move higher and a full retracement of that move near the March low. Bearish price swings and or a sharp drop off of the March high, and the later part of March is the halting of a bullish trend marked by a sharp decline through key support. Look out for a brief peak that's easily missed there in March. Now we attempt to establish support in April after that. The decline from March continues into April. We attempt to establish support with some sideways rotation. The April low, there's an important resistance level on a 1 year chart scale that's highlighted that we failed to break through many times before near the April low. Off of the April high, we have a decline increasing with momentum moving forward in time, and then a lot of volatility in the later part of April, most likely another sharp decline in there. On the cusp of April, May, though, it looks like we do have some movement to the upside. There's a rally along a diagonal trend line into early May, ending with a fast sudden move higher, and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. The May high will be at a key resistance that will decline from and then return to either in the month of May or in the not too distant future, maybe like June. So usually that's what you see with the Princess of Swords. And then again, we have this like prominent move higher, full retracement back down near the May low. Significant amount, okay, so there's a really auspicious move going on there in May. And I say auspicious move and don't specify because it's a Magus card, but usually what you can rely on is the Magus card as an excellent entry, or excuse me, as an excellent exit point for a trade. So sorry. Because what the Magus card really is implying is that move we've been waiting for takes place there. So when we get into the trades, that's most likely going to be an exit for one of the major trades of 2025, and that's clearly something that I'll talk about in more detail in the total access version. There's a peak in the early part of June, and then we have a rally that increases with momentum moving forward in time in the early part of June. 3 pokes through the same trend line, followed by a sharp drop off of the third poke to form the June high, and the later part of June we have a rally into key resistance followed by a decline with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down. Usually those spikes up will meet moving averages as resistance, and there's a notable reversal near the June low. Either that or we've got multiple price swings back, or multiple reversals. Probably one notable reversal like on the scale of a 1-year chart. And then there's a resistance in early July that's highlighted that we likely flatten out near that resistance. One of the best opportunity, like the most significant and most likely a very improbable opportunity near the July low. I'll definitely be talking about that in total access. And then the July high forms when we have a prominent peak that we sell off from pretty notably into an important trough on a 1-year chart scale, which should take place in the later part of July. And we should also see this rally along a diagonal trend line that ends with along a diagonal trend line breaking through horizontal resistance, meeting a second resistance, and then pulling back to somewhere between those two price levels. It looks like it starts out of the trough in July, rallying along the diagonal into early August, and then there's a prominent peak in early August where we turn over. Early August should be a U-shaped dip. Early August should be a peak, a rally into a peak, and then we turn over there in early August, pretty early on, and decline down to and through support. And then we do a U-shaped reversal below that support or that price level, come back, break through it to the upside, and then we reuse it as support. The unicursal hexagram in the high significator position for August, really indicating a really important price level taking place there. Either that or a very sharp decline. It looks like we probably have a very sharp decline. There is a bit of a breakout in the later part of August, but it doesn't look like it necessarily holds because we've got another important low on a 1-year chart scale in early September. We should see bumping along resistance sideways, maybe breaking through, bumping along resistance sideways some more near the August high, but be careful for that unicursal hexagram. I advise getting on one of my lives, or if you're in the Discord as part of one of the subscriptions, around August time, consult me and I'll likely be able to identify if that's what price level that is, because the unicursal is super important. And what this unicursal is most likely representing is a price level on a multi-year scale that will break through to the downside in the next major decline. So a lot of price change in early September surrounding an important low or important trough on a 1-year chart scale, and an important support level on a 1-year chart scale as well. A lot of price change into and or out of that. The September high forms when a decline ends with a fast and move higher. The later part of September, we have a decline to and through support to meet another support. We rotate sideways, attempting to establish direction, and then we break down through more supports. Out of the September low, there's a big move, one of the bigger moves of the year out of the September low, likely due to being oversold, or just a really big move. Could be like a gap up or something. Sometimes the full card is the gap as well. We have a fast sudden move higher in early October. We have a period of volatility near the October high and a sharp drop that'll stand up in that period of volatility, probably in the earlier to mid part of October, a sharp drop. And there should be a prominent peak on a 1-year chart scale that's forms within that period of volatility near the October high. The October low, we should see a sideways fluctuating decline preceding a notable rally. Looks like the very end of, the last 2 weeks roughly of October are pretty mixed. We should see decline to and through support, another support, rotate sideways along that, and then we should see a big move to the upside, towards the very end of the month of October into November, where we have an important technical price level on a multi-year scale that's highlighted there in early November. Usually it's resistance, but not always. Out of the November high, we have a decline through multiple support levels. There's a resistance level near the November low that we decline from and then return to at least once near the November low. And it looks like we may be higher in the later part of November with this unexpected move to the upside. In early December, out of a decline, big move to the upside. Either that or there's significant negative headwinds leading us to believe we're going to go lower, but instead there's this unexpected move to the upside again. So unexpected move in early November, probably continuing into December. We successfully find new support at what was resistance near the December high. and then the rally turns over in the later part of December with like a crest. The December low, we should see sideways rotation, and that ends with a fast sudden move higher, and another prominent peak on a one-year chart scale highlighted within close time proximity to the December low, and a prominent trough on a one-year chart scale near the end of December. The sneak preview for 2026. The sneak preview for 2026, it's interesting. It's the same preview card. Yeah, what's interesting is that the preview card from the 2024 reading is also the Queen of Cups. So there's probably a similar pattern, like we're like within a channel. And this also leads me to believe there's some significant flooding. I picked up on that for 2027. It might even start in 2026, but very clearly there will be like 100-year flooding in 2027 in India, meaning that it'll be the biggest flooding in like 100 years or more, maybe. Sorry to say. All right, so we're going to give you one of the best trades that we see. And then I'm going to show you how to get the Total Access subscription, which gives you the full version of this video. We'll give you all the expectations, where we expect the highs and the highest high and the lowest low to be to the week, and all the trades that we see, as well as access to the Discord trade alerts and live updated trading view charts where we actually draw entry and exits, and you have like communication at any time. If you're in India, I'm sure if you order this, you already know. But if you're new to the channel and you're in India, access to the Discord gets you live access to any questions that you have about this stuff. So I'll show you how to get all that in just a moment. Before we do that, let's take a look at 2024 and see how we did. Okay, so we had a sideways fluctuating decline preceding a notable rally, marking notable opportunity to open up a long position, and then there's like this fast sudden move higher that's combined with it. So that stuff looks pretty significant. You know, it was sideways fluctuating, and then a sharp drop here that turned into a fast sudden move higher. So this is pretty solid. What's notable here is that the Ace of Cups in the high significator positions, indicating that the decline off of the high offers significant opportunity to open up a long position, meaning that we're going to see the hot price of the high again in 2024, or more likely, because it is the end of 2024 already, very, very likely that it will be in 2025. We should see that high. And again, we just mentioned in the earlier part of the video that we should see all-time highs in 2025. So basically, the way that you can read an Ace of Cups in a high significator position is any price level below that high, that highest high, any price level below that highest high prior to us revisiting it, that price level, any price level below it is going to be a good buy opportunity to hold on to until we revisit that price level and some. That doesn't mean just jump in anywhere, but trust in that if you get in too early, all you got to do is sit tight, you know, so buy in increments if you're looking to do that. We had a highest high October, November. Oof, little bit late, because we had one in September, October, and then we were expecting possibly another one in November, December. So it doesn't look like we were on point with the second one, but we did get this one over here. And there was also like a highest high in May before that drop. We had a highest high and a lowest low within close time proximity to each other taking place in May. You can say highest high, lowest low within close time proximity to each other taking place in May, June. We had a lowest low at the very beginning of the year in January. Relatively I mean, this is pretty accurate. It's not 100%. We're a little late on some of the stuff, but just a little bit. And the sequence of events has been on point. The theme has been on point. We're going to look at the trades in just a second. But if you're wondering, the Nifty 50 2024 reading, the shuffle file was created March 9th, 2024, guys. March 9th. 2024. Really. Double click. And where does it take you? Oh, it's downloading it now. Oh, that's the movie. Excuse me. Double click on the image. and it takes you to 2024. So there you go. So likely we would have bought in this January, February kind of trough here, right? To open up a long position. You could see in February, decline from February low, revisit that price level again. So you could have done the trade where you wait for us to decline from resistance, open up a long, close that long when we revisit that resistance level. And there's very price swingy in March. And we also had a new all-time high, I should point out. A new all-time high around September, October. And what do we have there? A new all-time high, guys. So, keep that in mind. We were on point about that in the 2024. We're seeing that again in 2025. All right, my friends. Let me show you how to get... let me give you one of the best trades that I see. I think probably this is early on. This is a pretty juicy trade if you can time it well, and you got to have some courage. But we should see a highest high early in January, where we have sideways rotation, big move higher, more sideways rotation, and that'll give us that higher sideways rotation is an indication to open up. That we've reached a high. We should be at highest highs for the year around that sideways rotation. So then from there, what you want to look for is this decline from that high, most likely into a trough in the end of the third week, beginning of fourth week of January. And that's most likely where you'd want to pull the trigger on that. Again, guys, you want to use the live Discord trade alerts, live updated trading view charts to really trade this stuff. This is more for entertainment purposes. But if you insist on doing this, look for a sideways rotation, big move higher, more sideways rotation near a highest high for the year thus far. If you don't see that prior to this decline into the later part of January, that would be an indication to leave this trade alone, because we're not right all the time. But if you see that chart behavior transpire as expected, leading into this decline in the later part of January, I would say that could be an opportunity to open up a long position, and then you would close that long position when we revisit the price level of the January high. When we revisit in February, might even go a little bit higher, but the wise disciplined trader is going to exit at that sure thing. Nothing's a sure thing, but they're going to exit at that more probable location, which is the old high. So that's a pretty solid trade, guys. For the rest of that stuff, that's all part of the Total Access subscription. Let me show you how to get that stuff. All right, so you go to our website, tarotfortraders.com, which is very, very likely while you're at this point when you're watching it, it's very, very likely if it's January to be stockmarketpsychic.com, but we'll have a redirect at that point. In any case, you want to go to our website, tarotfortraders.com, hover over predictions, hover over order now, click on subscriptions, and then for Total Access, you want to click here. This is a $500 membership. Monthly membership. It gets you access to the monthly coverage of all of these crypto and ticker symbols here, where we predict the highs and the lows to the day, as well as the day-by-day chart behavior. And it gets you access to all of these 1 years that we've already done for 2025. Any 2026s that are up, there are a few, and there'll be a lot more coming 2025. There's also a bunch of 2024s that aren't even on the list that are up. So all of that stuff is all covered. It gives you access to the live Discord trade alerts. It gives you access to live updated trading view charts. It doesn't get more simple to trade effectively with this information than having those two services. And anybody serious in trading this information, you're kidding yourself if you're not utilizing this info, guys. This is the serious SO Meta trader, the one that's consistently making money. They're using these services. With that said, we want to be accessible to everybody, so be mindful the channel needs to make money, but anybody that maybe, that's a little steep for them, come talk to us. Let's see what we can do for you. And that's the public version of the Nifty 50 for 2025. Much love and appreciation. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. And as always, make sure to follow that rule of karma. You know where to go. You know what to do. Blessings to all my angel investors. If you don't, you go to our website, Tarot for Traders or stockmarketpsychic.com. Click on resources. 5% of all profits from the information on this channel should be donated forward to one of these charities. We're expecting you to do this. This isn't like a, hey, do us a favor. We're putting this information out with the expectation that you guys are following through. And those beautiful souls that do this, I know you guys like, well, I'm sure you all know that. So be one of those beautiful souls and follow through on that rule, my friends. So 5% of the profits forward to one of these charities, 5% of the profits back to the channel through one of these links. Leaves you at 90%. Make sure to spend that 90% out of love. Much love and appreciation. Blessings to all my angel investors. I'll see you guys on the next one.